team. Fourth. Three ahead of him. Including the likes of Josh Allen, who did win MVP last year. Lamar Jackson did win MVP the year before. Mahomes, the last 2 regular seasons, emphasis on the word regular seasons, has struggled. But, Shady, is Mahomes still clearly the best quarterback in the NFL?
First of all, who said, is Chris with us?
Sims.
Is he with us? Is he with Fox?
He's not on Fox.
I like Chris, so I ain't gonna go crazy, but this is what I'm saying. We need to start having elite players talk about elite players. Just think about it. Real talk, man, I'm not trying to, I'm saying, him saying that, imagine if Patrick Mahomes reads that, and he says, who said that? You have an elite conversation about an elite player, and you not that. It's hard to really understand that. I would be upset if freaking, who's the running back that wasn't that good that you played with?
You're not going to indict me.
Yeah, what? He's gonna say.
I would be very, very highly.
He should have said 2-5.
Yeah, right.
Anyway, this is crazy. I think Patrick Mahomes is clearly better than all the other quarterbacks. One of my good friends is Josh Allen. I love Josh. If we talking about talent conversation, that's something different. People might not like that conversation, but if we talk about talent, Josh Allen, we can have that. The whole 2 hours if you want to talk about that. We're not talking about that. We're talking who's a better quarterback. And there's one quarterback since he stepped in as a starter. Okay, I'm the starter. I've only seen an AFC Championship. That's the worst I've ever seen. And the best I've seen is Super Bowl.
Yep.
And then the last part is, how can these guys be better than me when we play on the big stage for all the money, when the chips is all the way on the table, there's no more money up, I'm out of money, out of my pocket, I always win. How you better than me? At your best season, at my worst season, you don't beat me. When your team is at their best and my team is not at their best, I beat you. When we don't have the advantage at the home field advantage and you do, and we got to go on the road for all the playoff games and they count me out and they doubt me, I still beat y'all. And we having a real conversation about who the best quarterback in the league is. Forget the quarterback. This is his league. This is his league.
That's a bar.
And everybody knows that. Any player that out here running around talking about this and third, they know it lives and dies with Kansas City. The Eagles was the best team last year. In my opinion, easily. Talent-wise, roster-wise, best team. And the question was, do they have enough to beat the Chiefs? You get what I'm saying? So I just hate this conversation because it really kills the fact of being elite. You get what I'm saying?
Yeah.
When we talk about elite quarterbacks, you're not comparing yourself with nobody else but Patrick Mahomes. I think it's super disrespectful. So, yes, he is clearly the best quarterback and the best player in this league.
There's tiers, right, to quarterbacking, and I have tiers. I don't have this for me, but it's Mahomes is a whole tier to himself. That's how I feel. It hasn't changed. Can you believe Mahomes has almost been in the league a decade? He doesn't feel that way because of the consistency in which he's played. He's been to 5 of the last 6 Super Bowls. He's won 3 Super Bowls. He's been to 7 straight AFC Championship games. Forget about the stats. Yeah, he threw for 3,928 passing yards, career low. Yeah, he threw for 26 passing touchdowns, career low. Who cares? The way that Mahomes and Andy Reid has been able to evolve offensively since he took over as starter, I believe it was 2018, has been what we need to talk about. Because back in the day when they had Kareem Hunt, Tyreek Hill, Travis Kelce in his prime, they were an explosive team. He was averaging 8.8 yards per attempt. If you don't know the yards per attempt number, if you're not a quarterback, that means he is throwing the freaking football down the field. Huge plays time and time again. Look at the last 2 years to where it's evolved. And I think this is what makes him so great and him stand out. He has not had the firepower to throw the ball down the field. So what has he had to do? He's had to get better at the line of scrimmage. He's had to get better at audibling. He's had to get better at checking the ball down. He's been efficient. He's been effective. 6.8 yards per attempt last year. It's not very high. I don't know the numbers, but I guarantee it's not even top 20 in the league. Like, they're not throwing the ball down the field, but they didn't have Rashee Rice last year. They didn't have a full season of Hollywood Brown. Yes, Travis Kelce is coming a little bit slower, right? But it's just so hard to be on that mountaintop when everyone around you is trying to knock you off, including Josh Allen, who won his first MVP. You know what Josh Allen's record versus Mahomes in the playoffs is? 0-4. So don't talk to me about somebody being better than Patrick Mahomes until someone is able to knock him off the mountain, which I don't see happening.
Who said this? Chris Sims.
And he's not an elite player, or he was an elite player?
What you think?
No, I'm saying,
Why you asking?
I don't know Chris's career.
No, he wasn't an elite.
Okay,
You know
he
elite
was an
players, don't you?
Player. Was Peyton Manning elite
was.
player? So I don't care. Peyton Manning said, this is stupid. This is stupid.
But at least you gonna give it a little thought.
You ain't, no, I ain't gonna give it no thought. I'm gonna say Peyton tripping, man. He must have been coming off the golf courses. You know what I mean? Had a good time or something like this. This is a stupid take, for real. You know what I mean? Because when you talk about Patrick Mahomes, because when we sit up here and we talk about quarterbacks, we talk about winning. Right? That's the most important thing for the quarterback. We talk about winning, right? Because we could put stats up there for anybody and make them look good. I argue about Aaron Rodgers all the time. So we can put So with Patrick Mahomes, we talk about winning. I'll never forget Aaron Rodgers said, at my worst year is some of y'all's best year.
Oh, that's so true.
Patrick Mahomes should have said that line. Because this man, since a starter, ain't never not seen the AFC Championship game. And we are sitting here talking about a quarterback that has never not seen the AFC Championship game as a starting quarterback in the National Football League. And we talking about he's the fourth best quarterback in the NFL is absolutely crazy. And I don't care how it looks. Does Patrick Mahomes know how to throw the ball?
Yes.
Is he special at throwing the ball?
Very.
Does Patrick Mahomes know when to run?
Yes.
Is he special at making plays for his football team?
Very.
Especially when the game is on the line?
Very.
What we talking about, man? There's nothing Patrick Mahomes cannot do on this football field. Patrick Mahomes has overcome injuries as a quarterback with his roster and still been in the AFC Championship game. Patrick Mahomes had really good rosters and won MVPs and been in the Super Bowl and won Super Bowl. Come on, man. We just, a couple months ago, was talking about this young fella three-peating.
Never been done.
Something that has never been done. And we are sitting up here having a conversation about the fourth best quarterback. Y'all, look at me. The fourth best quarterback. Like, he ain't even say, like, Josh might be taking over and he might be the... He's like the fourth best quarterback. That's crazy.
Let me ask you this, though. Let me ask you this. Because let's disregard Sims for a moment and let's focus on the question we have on our screen. Is Mahomes still clearly the best quarterback in the NFL? And the word clearly doing lifting. Obviously, I agree with y'all, but for the sake of pushing back, for the sake of trying to take this conversation to further places, you know what you hear, right? You don't get a second chance at a first impression. Patrick Mahomes' first impression is that he is by far the best quarterback in all of football. Chase, you said, I don't agree with this, but you have said, and a lot of people agree with you, winning is not a quarterback statistic. So if you were to suggest that winning is not a quarterback statistic, and if you were to watch several of the Chiefs games last year, and you were to watch those Chiefs games in which defense held them to this point, defense blocked a field goal here, defense blocked a field goal there, is the fact that the Chiefs were so successful last year, is Andy Reid still clearly the best coach in the NFL? Sure. But if you want to simply jump to quarterback wins, for people who don't subject themselves to quarterback wins, then you could bring up a Jalen Hurts conversation. Because Jalen Hurts has seen Patrick Mahomes 4 times in their career, 2-2. Jalen Hurts won the Super Bowl, in which he clearly outplayed Patrick Mahomes. When Jalen Hurts lost the Super Bowl to Patrick Mahomes, he outplayed Patrick Mahomes. Jalen Hurts has beat Mahomes in the regular season, and he's lost Mahomes in the regular season. But nobody would, in their right mind, or maybe you would, but you would get just lambasted by the national media, say that Jalen Hurts is better than Patrick Mahomes. So is it not fair to ask, is he still clearly the best?
It's fair, but that would not be a right question to ask. It's the greatness of Patrick Mahomes is so much more than wins are a QB stat or wins are not a QB stat versus stats versus what. It's the high level of production, both statistically and team wins, that he's had almost over a decade. We can talk about Jalen Hurts or Joe Burrow having a year or two that is good. This guy has been, since he started, and since he had that, I think his 50 touchdown first season in 18, he's been the best He's already being mentioned as the best quarterback or second best quarterback of all time because of not only the stats he has put out, but how consistent he's done it. It's unlike anything we've ever seen other than Tom Brady.
You're talking winning.
In everything. Stats, too.
We're talking about Patty like he don't got talent.
No. I'm saying
he has the stats, though. The last 2 years, I would push back and say he hasn't had those stats.
Yeah.
But he hasn't had the team around him like he did with Tyreek and
So
all
then
this
let me
stuff.
ask you-
Yet he's still been able to win at an
Let me ask you
extremely
this,
high level.
and Shady, chime back in on this conversation when you deem it appropriate. Let me ask you this, because Josh Allen is the one person, and maybe Lamar Jackson, but let's talk Josh Allen because he most recently won MVP. That's the one person who you could suggest muddies the picture. Josh Allen has not had elite-level talent on his offense. He just has not. Yet he won MVP last year. The year before, Josh Allen did not have elite-level talent. Remember, Stephon Diggs started to tail off towards the end of that season. I think it was Shakur who led that team in touchdowns. James, correct me if I'm wrong, receiving yards. True. But again, if you're talking winning, of course, if you're talking winning, it's Pat. But then if you're talking winning, you have to mention Jalen Hurts. But if you're just talking talent, if you're talking statistics, if you're talking MVPs as of late, because obviously if you're going back a last decade, it's all Pat. But if you're just talking right now, I think you could suggest Josh Allen maybe makes you have to put your glasses on and say, is Mahomes still clearly?
Well, Josh is a great player. That's why you say that, right? And I've been telling you that even before the MVP. I showed how great he was. But let's just break this thing down. So winning is a quarterback stat.
I agree.
There's a reason why you have average quarterbacks with average talent that play well, right, that we consider really, really good. That's why they get them big contracts. Brock Purdy ain't like no great player, no great talent, but he wins.
Yeah.
You get what I'm saying? I can name players like even Jalen Hurts. Jalen Hurts is a good quarterback, but the first thing you're going to say about him,
He wins.
he's a winner.
Yeah.
And it's like you have the greatest running back of all time, right? But that don't necessarily mean he's going to win. You can have a good quarterback, you can win.
Yeah.
So winning is a quarterback stat. But the thing I love about Patrick Mahomes, we never give him a break as far as when the wide receivers ain't there, the tight ends getting older, things don't look the same. Right? Because when you win that many games, you play a long season than other teams.
Yeah.
Right? Every year I'm in the AFC Championship, that's extra time. Super Bowls, it's extra time. They don't make excuses. When we talked about Josh Allen, my boy, we say, yo, does he need more help? We've asked these questions all around different platforms. Lamar Jackson, we've asked, yo, he might need more help. Who's he throwing the ball to? He did that in the third. You ask these questions. Joe Burrow, does he need more help on defense? We don't ever say about Pat.
No.
You know why we expect him to do that? Because you are that good. So maybe your defense ain't the same. Or maybe your wide receivers was hurt, then the number 2 receiver was hurt.
Running back hurt.
The running back's hurt. You know what? Do it with the backups.
Yeah.
Do it with the third string wide receiver, make him your number 1. He don't make excuses. We don't hear that.
Yeah.
Because he's that good. So when we ask these questions about if you need more or he doesn't have as much, that's for guys not the elite, as in Patrick Mahomes. All them other quarterbacks are great quarterbacks. Lamar Jackson is one of my favorites to watch.
Yeah.
Josh Allen's my young brother who's a beast.
Like that.
Joe Burrow's phenomenal.
Like that.
But
Not
they
bad.
are not Patrick Mahomes.
And really quick, because I think it is clear, right? We're all coaches up here right now. If you're starting your franchise, who you taking that
Come on, man.
quarterback?
Come on.
Say his name.
Patrick Mahomes.
Who you taking?
Of course, Pat.
Who you taking?
15.
So it sounds really clear. And if anybody was up here and said otherwise, we would be looking at them like they tripping. It's very clear.
But here's why it's either clear or it's lazy. Because there is an argument to be had, and Shady and I have stood on the same
Lazy.
side of this argument of, if somebody said they're taking Josh Allen, I wouldn't argue with him.
I would say you're crazy because you're not going to get through Patty to win no Super Bowl.
Is Andy Reid the head coach? That's what I would suggest. If somebody said they were taking Josh Allen
hard to do.
and Andy Reid's the head coach, I would be like, I actually think you're getting to the same place. Well, to some degree you are, but then you also know, we went back, you watched the Texans game. The Texans game ended because Andy Reid dialed up a pick route to Samaje Perine.
We cannot take none of
You
that
can't.
away from
You
this
can't.
dude.
But what I'm simply suggesting is if somebody wanted to take Josh first and wanted to bring up the Andy of it all and wanted to bring
I
up this
wouldn't be
Spagnuolo of it all,
about
I'd
it.
be like, you know what?
I
I'm not going to
personally
call you I'm not going to call you crazy.
But we're talking about Patrick Mahomes like he doesn't have the accolades and the stats.
Yeah, he has all of it.
He has all of
Whatever
it.
you want to argue
all of
about,
it.
he
Wins and
has.
That's all of it.
Wins
So
and
it's
stats.
not like we're saying Brock Purdy or somebody in this
course.
conversation
Good
that don't
point.
have the accolades, but he's winning more than Josh. This dude is beating you head to head. He has all the accolades. He has all the talent. We're talking what we talking
How
about.
many Super Bowls Josh Allen got?
None.
How many Super Bowls Lamar Jackson got?
None.
How many Super Bowls Joe Burrow have?
None.
How many Super Bowls Patty Holmes have?
I think 3 and counting.
3.
And counting.
End of
Super Bowl for each of them.
conversation.
Yeah.
This is my great.
What up, YouTube family? Welcome to the facility. Thanks for watching, and you better be sure to hit that subscribe button if you want to get more highlights from the show and all of our exclusive content.